June 1956. A studio executive looks at a burned Korean War veteran and says, "Get him out. He's bad for PR." Gary Cooper stands up and says 7 words that end the meeting and the executive's career. Here is the story. Paramount Studios, Los Angeles, June 14th, 1956, 10:00 a.m. Conference room, B, long mahogany table, 8 leather chairs, water pitchers sweating in the California heat. 6 men sit around the table. Producers, writers, 1 director, Gary Cooper, at the head the star, attached to the frozen ridge, a Korean War picture scheduled to begin filming in August. And in the corner, on a folding chair that doesn't match the others, sits the 7th man. His name is James Whitfield, 29 years old, former sergeant, 1st Marine Division, Chosin Reservoir, December 1950. The left side of his face is gone, not missing, transformed, melted, rebuilt by Army surgeons into something that functions but no longer looks human. His left eye socket is a hollow, covered by a leather patch. His left ear is a nub of scar tissue. The skin from his cheekbone to his jaw is a rippled landscape of burn scars, pink and white and angry red, napalm, friendly fire. A canister dropped 200 yards short of the Chinese position. 3 Marines burned alive. James was the only survivor. He's been hired as the film's technical consultant. $200 a week to make sure the battle scenes look real, to make sure the actors hold their rifles correctly, to make sure the movie honors the men who froze and bled and died in those Korean mountains. He sits in the corner because he learned long ago that corners are safest. Fewer people have to look at him. Fewer children scream. Fewer women turn away. The meeting has been going for 47 minutes. Script revisions, budget concerns, casting updates. James has said nothing. He's not here to talk. He's here to listen and advise when asked. Then the door opens. Victor Stanton walks in, 54 years old, executive vice president of production, silver hair, Italian suit, the kind of man who decides which pictures get made and which get buried. He's been in New York for 2 weeks. This is his first time seeing the team assembled for The Frozen Ridge. He scans the room, nods at the producers, shakes Cooper's hand, glances at the director. Then his eyes land on James Whitfield. He stops, stares. His face cycles through emotions, shock, disgust, discomfort, before settling on cold professionalism. He turns to the nearest producer, lowers his voice, but not low enough. "Who the hell is that?" "James Whitfield, our technical consultant, Marine veteran, Chosin Reservoir. Get him out." "Sir? Get him out of this meeting. Get him off this lot. He's bad for PR." The room goes silent. Everyone heard it. Everyone pretends they didn't. James doesn't move, doesn't react. He's heard worse, been called worse. This is just another room full of people who can't see past his face. But Gary Cooper heard it too. Before we continue, quick question. Where are you watching from today? Drop your state or country in the comments. Cooper sets down his coffee cup. Slowly, deliberately. The small click of porcelain on wood sounds like a gunshot in the silence. "What did you say?" Stanton turns, realizes Cooper heard him, adjusts his approach. "Gary, I apologize. I didn't realize you were attached to this individual. But surely you understand. If photographs leak, if reporters see him on set, it could affect the film's image. We need to think about publicity. His name is James." "I'm sorry?" "His name is James Whitfield. Not this individual. Not him. James. Sergeant James Whitfield. 1st Marine Division." Stanton's smile tightens. He's not used to being corrected. "Fine. James. My point stands. His appearance is challenging. It could create complications." "Complications?" "Yes. The press. Visitors. Studio tours pass through this building. If someone sees what?" A man who was burned by American napalm while fighting for his country? Gary, be reasonable. Reasonable. Cooper stands, 6'3" of coiled tension. You want reasonable? Here's reasonable. That man in the corner is the only person in this room who knows what Korea actually looked like. The rest of us are pretending. He lived it. I understand he served. That doesn't mean he didn't just serve, he burned. He watched 2 friends die screaming while his own skin melted off his face. He spent 14 months in military hospitals, had 11 surgeries, and now he's here, trying to help us tell a story about men like him. And you're worried about PR? Stanton's face reddens. He's not accustomed to actors challenging him. Actors are talent. Talent is managed. Talent doesn't talk back. Mr. Cooper, I appreciate your passion, but personnel decisions are not your concern. The studio has an image to protect. If his presence creates negative publicity, his presence is the story. His face is what this film is supposed to be about. Sacrifice, cost, the truth of war. If you can't look at him, maybe you shouldn't be making war pictures. That's enough. I'm the executive on this project. I decide who works on this lot. And I'm telling you, he goes. Silence. Complete silence. The producers stare at the table. The director looks at his shoes. Nobody wants to be caught in this crossfire. Cooper looks at James. James hasn't moved. His one good eye is fixed on the wall. He's been invisible so long, he knows how to disappear, even when everyone's talking about him. But Cooper sees something else. A slight tremor in James's right hand. The only hand that still works properly. A tremor that says, I'm used to this, but it still hurts. It always hurts. Cooper turns back to Stanton. You want him gone? Yes. Because of how he looks. Because of the complications his appearance creates. Yes. Cooper nods slowly, reaches for his jacket on the back of the chair, puts it on, buttons it, adjusts the collar. Everyone watches. Nobody understands. Then Cooper speaks. 7 words. Quiet. Final. Then you just lost your leading man. He walks toward the door. Stanton laughs, nervous, disbelieving. Gary, be serious. You're under contract. You can't just... Cooper stops, turns. His face is stone. Watch me. He walks out. The door closes behind him. The room erupts. Producers shouting. The director grabbing his notes. Stanton's face cycling through fury, panic, calculation. He's bluffing. He has to be bluffing. We have a contract. Sir, if Cooper walks, the picture's dead. No other star can open a war film this year. Then sue him. Injunction. Something. We'd lose, and the press would crucify us. Studio sues actor for defending wounded veteran. That's the headline. Stanton slams his hand on the table. This is ridiculous. All of this over one. He can't finish the sentence. Can't find a word that won't bury him deeper. In the corner, James Whitfield stands. Quiet. Picks up his hat. Moves toward the door. The director, a man named Robert Aldrich who stayed silent until now, speaks. Where are you going, Sergeant? Home. I don't want to cause any more trouble. Sit down. James stops. Looks at Aldrich. I said sit down. You're the technical consultant on this picture. You're not going anywhere until I say so. James hesitates, then sits. His good eye shows something it hasn't shown in years. Surprise. Aldrich turns to Stanton. Victor, I'm going to make this simple. Gary Cooper just walked out. I'm about to walk out. And if I walk out, every other director in this town is going to know why. You'll be the executive who killed a picture because you couldn't look at a veteran's face. Bob, you can't threaten me. I'm not threatening. I'm informing. You have a choice. Apologize to Sergeant Whitfield, reinstate Gary Cooper, and we pretend this meeting never happened. Or you can watch this project collapse and explain to New York Why their $4 million investment just evaporated. Stanton's mouth opens, closes, opens again. The producers exchange glances. They've never seen an executive cornered like this. They've never seen talent band together against the suits. One producer, older, quieter, a man named Hal who's been in Hollywood since the silent era, speaks up. "Victor, maybe we should reconsider. The optics of this situation are complicated, in ways that don't favor us." Another producer nods. "The Korean War Veterans Association has been supporting this picture. If they find out we fired a consultant because of his wounds..." Stanton looks around the room, sees no allies, sees only men calculating the cost of standing with him versus standing against him. He's alone, and he knows it. What would you sacrifice for your principles? What would you risk to stand with someone the world wants to forget? 12:15 p.m. Gary Cooper sits in his car in the studio parking lot. Engine off, windows down, waiting. He's prepared to leave, to breach his contract, to spend 2 years in court fighting Paramount. He's done the math, he can afford it. And some things matter more than money, but he's waiting, hoping he doesn't have to. A knock on his window. Robert Aldrich. It's done. What's done? Stanton backed down. Whitfield stays. Full apology. "You're expected back in the conference room in 10 minutes. Cooper nods, doesn't smile, doesn't celebrate. What about Stanton? Word is he's being reassigned. New York wasn't happy about almost losing a $4 million picture over a PR concern. Reassigned where? Foreign distribution. It's where executives go to be forgotten." Cooper gets out of the car, walks with Aldrich back toward the building. "Bob, thank you for backing me up in there. You didn't leave me much choice. But Gary, what you did took guts. Most stars would have looked the other way. Most stars haven't spent 20 years playing heroes while real heroes like Whitfield get treated like embarrassments. It was time to actually be one instead of pretending." They reach the building. Cooper pauses at the door. "How's James?" "Shaken. I don't think anyone's ever stood up for him before. Not like that." "Then it's long overdue." Cooper walks back into the conference room. The atmosphere has changed. Stanton is gone. The producers are subdued. The director is reorganizing papers, and James Whitfield is still in the corner, still in his folding chair. But something's different. His shoulders are straighter. His chin is higher. Cooper walks directly to him, extends his hand. "James, I'm sorry that happened. It won't happen again." James takes the hand. His grip is strong. His voice is rough. "Mr. Cooper, why? You could have stayed quiet. Nobody would have blamed you. I would have blamed me. That's enough. But your contract, your career..." "I've had a career for 30 years. You've had that face for 6. I figure you've sacrificed more than I ever will. The least I can do is sacrifice a few comfortable illusions." James's good eye fills. He blinks it clear. Doesn't trust himself to speak. Cooper squeezes his shoulder, turns to the room. "All right, where were we? I believe we were making a picture about heroes. Let's start acting like we know what that means." The meeting resumes. Different tone now. Collaborative. Respectful. James is asked questions. His opinions are valued. When he describes the cold at Chosin, the kind of cold that freezes your breath in your lungs, the whole room listens. For the first time in 6 years, James Whitfield feels like a man instead of a monster. The Frozen Ridge begins filming in August 1956. James is on set every day. The actors consult him constantly. How did you hold your rifle in the cold? What did frostbite feel like? How did you keep moving when your friends were dying? He answers everything, relives the worst moments of his life so that actors can pretend to experience them. It hurts, but it matters. The film wraps in November. Cooper invites James to the premiere. Front row, no corners, no folding chairs. James almost says no. Crowds are hard. People stare. Children point. He's learned to avoid public places. But Cooper insists. You earned that seat. More than anyone else in that theater. December 19th, 1956. Chinese Theater, Hollywood. Premiere night. James wears a suit. First suit he's owned since the Marines. He walks the red carpet beside Cooper. Photographers shout. Flashbulbs pop. Some people stare at his face. Some look away. But James keeps walking. Head up, shoulders back. The way Marines walk. Inside, he sits in the front row. Watches the film. Sees his memories translated into light and shadow. Sees actors pretend to freeze while he remembers actually freezing. When the credits roll, his name appears. Technical Consultant, Sergeant James Whitfield, USMC. The audience applauds. They don't know why that name matters. But James knows. Cooper knows. After the screening, a reporter approaches James. Sergeant Whitfield, what's it like seeing your story on screen? James thinks for a long moment. It's not my story. It's our story. The men who didn't come home. The men who came home different. The men who got forgotten. Mr. Cooper made sure we weren't forgotten tonight. That matters more than I can say. The reporter writes it down. The quote appears in Variety the next day. But the real story, Stanton's comment, Cooper's walkout, the 7 words that ended the meeting, stays private. Cooper never tells the press, never uses it for publicity. Some victories don't need an audience. James Whitfield works as a technical consultant for 15 more years. 12 films. War pictures, mostly. He never becomes famous, never seeks attention. But he's respected, valued, seen. He dies in 1998 at 71. His obituary mentions his service, his wounds, his work in Hollywood. His daughter finds a letter in his papers, written but never sent, addressed to Gary Cooper, dated January 1957, 1 month after the premiere. Dear Mr. Cooper, I've started this letter 100 times. I don't have the words for what you did. For 6 years, I was invisible. I wanted to be invisible. It was easier than seeing people flinch. You changed that. Not by being kind. Lots of people are kind. By being willing to lose something. Your contract, your picture, your standing with the studio. You put all of that at risk for a man you'd just met. A man the world said was bad for PR. I'll never forget those 7 words. Then you just lost your leading man. That was the first time anyone ever chose me over what was easy. I don't know if I'll ever send this, but I wanted you to know. You gave me my dignity back, and I'll spend whatever years I have left trying to deserve it. Your friend, James. The letter was found in James's desk, still sealed. He never sent it. Cooper died in 1961, never knowing those words existed. But in 2003, James's daughter donates the letter to the Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences. It's displayed alongside Cooper's career memorabilia. The placard reads, in 1956, Gary Cooper said 7 words that ended a meeting, ended an executive's career, and began one veteran's journey back to dignity. The letter below was never sent, but it was written. Sometimes that's enough. 7 words, 1 decision, a lifetime of dignity. If stories like this matter to you, subscribe. And unfortunately, they don't make men like Gary Cooper anymore.